Good afternoon, this is Namjyoti, and I'm getting ready to unload my plant press, and I thought that that's something that you might be interested in seeing what's inside. This is just the top piece, and all of these papers are empty. These are just blotting papers that suck the moisture away from the plants as they dry and as they press. But I usually keep the papers together when there's nothing in them. And the pieces of cardboard. So these are the pieces that are not in use right now. And the rest is pieces of paper. So there's cardboard and then a sandwich of paper that has the plants between them, and then another layer of cardboard and repeat. Let's take off the first piece of cardboard, the top layer of the sandwich. Ooh, let me turn my camera around so you can see these guys. So here's some Rose of Sharon, and these, what are these? I can't remember, some plant that was in my yard, and then foxglove. The main reason why I'm unloading the press right now is because I'm about to go and press some more leaves for an eco-print workshop that I have this weekend. And so I need to put more plants in here. So I wanted to come in and take the flowers and leaves out that are currently in here to make room. Even though I had a lot of empty space in my press, these guys have been in the press probably for months now, and so it's just time anyway for me to go in. And usually what I do when I'm moving plants out of the press, let's see if I can just shake these guys down. Sounds like my neighbors are fighting, which they do sometimes. Hopefully my microphone will keep you from hearing them. Okay, that was easier. So what I'm doing now basically is taking these guys, these Althea or Rose of Sharon flowers are kind of stuck because of that middle heavier piece. And sometimes when I'm being more delicate about removing my plants, see, I lost a petal on that one. It kind of detached, but that's okay. I can fix it later when I'm making projects and stuff. The fly out here bothering me. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Okay. And basically what I'm doing is putting them all in this basket right now. And then I'll put them into like a shoebox because everything is dry and flat. And I usually store stuff in boxes that have like a flip top lid. Like a shoebox is a perfect kind of box. So that when I'm ready to decorate my corn husk dolls or whatever else I'm using the flowers for, I can just go into that shoebox and pull them out. Okay, you can see some of the flowers here. These are really small little petals and some little yellow petals. I'm not sure what flowers those were coming from either. Sometimes I'll just find something pretty and throw it in the plant press just to see if it presses well, because not all plants press well. Let's see. There's a bunch of little yellow flowers. These are indigo flowers here. And then there's a yarrow leaf up there. I'm just gonna see if I can gently kind of push everything. And I have some little tweezers that I use, especially like for that Rose of Sharon flower that got stuck in the middle. If I take a little tweezer or a small little spatula and kind of pop the flower up, that keeps it from detaching from its center. But these guys are really easy. And then when I'm working with the dolls and working with other projects, I'm usually using tweezers to pick things up just because they can grab onto little parts of the flower that my fingers might be like too chunky to reach. Here's a tiny little yarrow leaf. Let me grab it. This itty bitty little yarrow leaf. Can you see that? All right. In this page is just more yarrow. I love using the yarrow leaves because they're so feathery. All right, come on, you little guys, get down in there. Opening the plant press always kind of feels like Christmas morning because I forget what's in there. I'll put flowers in there in the spring, and then, you know, we get into the summer and things start blooming again, and I might want to refill the press. Like right now, today is July 7th, and I probably haven't been in my press since the spring. Clearly, more yarrow. And yarrow, it presses really well, the yarrow leaves, and they also are really, like, they get really flat and feathery, so they're easy to decoupage onto the dolls or any other mandala projects that I want to work on. All right, we're at the last two sandwich layers. A pressed flower sandwich, if you will. Ooh. Okay, for a while I was pressing. I had these beautiful Pink Panther foxgloves in the garden, and so I spent a lot of time pressing those flowers. Some of them retained their color better than others, and their little spots. You can see that one retained its color a little bit better. Some of them, because they're pink, you know, some of them retain that pink color better than others. And then more of these indigo, which is Persicaria tinctoria, Japanese indigo flowers. It would be nice to have a little broom too. That would help. Not that I have any brooms lying around or anything, but having a little broom to sweep these would be a more gentle touch than my fingers. All right, here's my bounty. Rose of Sharon, flowers, foxglove, yarrow, indigo, and some unrecognizable little yellow petals. Now they'll go into the shoebox for later projects.